Hello, pioneers. It's fantastic, Mr. Ghost. Welcome back to Satisfactory 1.0. Look at this beautiful day. And it's a building day, folks. Finally, we're back at it here. Oh, boy. I tell you, the exploration is going to pay off now. Because I was looking at all the alternate recipes, and I'm like, wait a minute now. These are pretty darn good, especially for the ingot processing, now that I've looked at them. And usually what I've done in the past, I tried to get the smelters in and all this and get on the project assembly. And I flipped it for this particular playthrough here, that instead of, building the smelters just with the vanilla, I guess you could say the basic smelter, we're going with the ingots in foundries. Now, I'm a little bit worried about power, but I think we'll be fine, because once we unlock the next belt, speed, we'll be able to just crank out ingots. It's insane. Now, this ingot recipe that I'm using here, we'll go over in a second, is insane. And you'll see I've got all these machines here, and what I'm trying to do is I got to figure out what the capacity is for our project assembly. Whoops, wrong key. But first, we need to go into the MAM, because I got two researches I want to do. Alien tech. So I've got, let's see, this one here. Yeah, I wanted to do this one here because I have 7 Mercers left over. Ooh, man, I'd love to skip over and do this one. So I wanted to get the stack increase. I've got, oh yeah, I made a bunch of these things here. Oh, and by the way, I keep forgetting there's a manufacturer, okay, and this little guy right here is 3 parts. So that means it's a manufacturer. We're going to unlock that most likely next. So all the alternates that I got, I can't use because, or some of them, that require 3 inputs. Because the constructor is 1 input, the assembler, or whatever, let's see, I always get them confused. I always flip them. Constructor and assembler. The assembler is 2 inputs. The constructor is 1. The manufacturer is 3 to 4, and that's it. The space elevator, I think, has 6. So I think there was a point in time where I had to actually use more than 3 or whatever on the space elevator. So anyway, that's the case there. I keep forgetting about that. I know the game, right? But I just have to refresh, shake a little bit of rust off as I go. So start research, and we'll have more slots, or well, extended. It's going to increase it by another stack size. Yeah, confirm.
Dimensional expansion increased to 300%. New understanding of matter manipulation technology allows the dimensional storage to deconstruct all matter to the subatomic level, storing its elementary particles until the part is recalled.
Very cool.
You are digging into deeper layers. Shallow matter contains window symphonies and void songs and deep echoes.
Huh.
It is fascinating what one can find out simply by looking closer.
That is cool. So the effigy thing that we're figuring out here is Windows symphonies, things like that. It's a really interesting mixture of words, I think it's really cool. Now, Caterium. Oh, there it is. The smart splitter. Let's go ahead and research that. I handcrafted 10 of those.
Smart splitter unlocked. The
Cool.
smart splitter offers advanced settings that can improve conveyor belt logistics.
Yes. Okay, that's all we got. All right, now that MAM stuff is out of the way, we can start on this stuff. I'll explain what I have here. It's easier, I'm trying to get rid of this stuff by putting it back in here, so I'm hoping it uploads before all this stuff gets populated. By the way, 3 stacks, baby. So, speaking of that, I pulled the MAM up here. Oh boy, look at all these machines. I pulled the MAM up. So, next episode, what I'd like to do is finish this out. These 3. Now, what I'll do is I'll just run around. I want to capture the story and all the dialogue. And it's kind of tricky because I'm calling this a tutorial series, but we have the story now in 1.0, and it'd be nice to be able to, get all that. So 13. Now I have a few. I think I have 6. So we're pretty close to getting the depot expansion here, 400%. So we start off with 1 stack. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks. And I think I mentioned it in the last episode. I think we can eliminate the need for storage containers for the player here for us. So the dimensional depot should have plenty of materials to do the building. So I don't have to loop it back, through the, lift. And then with the last speed tech here, this one will be, it's only 6.25, but every little bit, helps, right? So between the stack size and this one, it'd be nice to have all that done. So I just need a few to get the depot expansion. But 46 on top. I think it's 7. I want to say. So yeah, over 50. And then my curiosity is, well, how many more are out there of these Mercer spheres? So there's probably a lot. So yeah, I'm just wondering, well, where's this all going? Okay, so that we'll work on next episode, because I wanted to get the project assembly up and running, and we can start to get the milestones for better technology. All right, folks, I've been pulling my hair out on this one, trying to get my mind wrapped around this. In the past, I've never used the alloyed ingots, and I think that I usually just got a few hard drives and then I started building right away. Now that I have all the alternates unlocked and I've been taking a more closer look at the alloyed ingots, I'm a big fan of them. Now, this is not going to be the way we smelt ingots going forward. There are more alternates out there for better recipes, and they require water and the ore, which, and we got these huge chemical things. Pipe the water in, belt the ore in, pipe water in, massive yield. Even better than this. But what I'm planning on doing is using this base for a while. So I'm planning it for 1200 speed belt. And instead of using the smelters, which is 40, it's 30 refineries. Now, the rub is we're going to have, there's a rub. There's always a rub, right? So in order to get that better yield on our ores, we're going to get 75 out of this machine. And as opposed to 30, so it's ore in, ingots out, 30-30, right, for copper and iron. We don't have any alternates for deuterium yet, but we will. So what happens is that we're getting a higher yield on our ores, and because our output's going to be higher, but the power goes up. So the rub is power increase. And yeah, don't touch it. It's hot. Oh, look at this. They have little things on here. Hot as F. That is hilarious. Hot as F. I'm not going to say that word. Then we have, there's a part number on here. Oh, here it is right here. Smelter 54152. I don't know if that's an acronym, because the 4 can be an A. So it says smelter on there. Hot as F. I love it. That's the humor I like about the Satisfactory guys and gals. So there you go. Oh, there's another number here. Or is that the smelter one? Oh, I'm on the belt. Okay. Yeah, that's the same one. Okay. Now, let's go over the devil's in the details here. The devil's in the deets. All right. This is nuts. So, we have a 270 belt right now. We're going to get the 480 and then 720 and then 1200. I think that's how it goes. Now, this machine right here is downclocked because it will overdrive the belt. So there's 2 ways you can go about this. This is, I think, the easiest way. You can put a smart splitter here and do an overflow and connect it over here. But that's not necessary. What we could do is just downclock this machine right here. And it's weird because it's 60%. And so we're doing 45 ingots a minute out of this one. And the requirement goes down for the inputs here. Another thing to note is the copper ore. It's 10 copper. So it's a little bit of copper. and a little more iron than the regular smelter, but we're getting 75 ingots out. Again, it's nuts. So by downclocking this one here, we need 45 a minute. It equates to 60% clock speed. What I need is 6.75 machines, but it's the weird thing is it's 60% clock speed because we need this to be 30 less so that we can accommodate one full 270 belt. You don't want too much because then you're not going to export it and it's wasted. So wasted capacity. So I'm downgrading this one here. So all these, this is 225 plus 45. Now these three here, this is the it's 6.75 machines being 60%. So this one's downclocked, but these are it's just 225 right here. So that is 295 or 495. Yeah. Up here is the same situation. It's just a mirror image. And what I'm doing is I'm taking from, I have 2 iron patches that I tapped. One I'm borrowing from until I tear down the iron plate. And then I tap the copper. So what I wanted to do was fire this baby up. Now, over here, let's check out the belting. Unfortunately, I probably should shove this down. I'm trying to learn the ports now because these are new. So I got to get the spacing and figure out, oh yeah, I got to put them in and I got to shift this way, blah, blah, blah. So this is unfortunately what I had to do because I used to do it differently with the splitters and merges and stuff. And also, I never used alternates in the beginning for the ore. So now I'm glad I'm doing this now because it's good for the series to showcase these crazy alternates. And we've already covered down here, ore smelt output ingot. So we've already covered that. Now this is the progression in the game after you go out exploring. So anyway, getting back to this here, I shifted these over because the way I'm doing it down below here. So let's go ahead and pop down. And yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of a spaghetti, but I could probably switch these around. Like this one, iron here. I'm probably going to pop this one to here. This is the iron input. And this right here, yeah, it makes sense because I'm crisscrossing. So I'm going to redo these. So this second floor was oh yeah, I got to do the second floor. Crap. So anyway, that was that. So I got this sky bridge here, but I'm going to fill it in, maybe, I don't know. Because we got 2 copper patches here, so I got to bring up and go over to copper smelting, which we'll talk about in a second here. All right, so let's go over here. And we're going to turn the copper node on. This one will be repurposed down here, by the way. So we'll go float on over here, and we'll turn this on. I wish I could climb up all the way. They don't have a ladder on the drill head. Oh, well. All right, let's go ahead and flip this on. So I got 270. That's the belt we have. So when we get the 480 speed belt, I'll have to go around and reclock, all these miners, which that's a part of the gig, All right, now we've got this one here. Turn that baby on. And this one here. So there we go. Oh, there it is. There. So I'm maximizing the iron belt, and the copper is, I think, 60 something. So it's 120 from, that's why I'm only using 1 copper mine. So I'm only pulling 120 from that one right there to do all of this. Now I haven't calculated out what the copper requirement is for all these yet. If this is 12, well, let's take a look here real quick. This is the alloy ingot. So it's 10 times 30, which is 300. Yeah, 300 copper. I think that, yeah, so if we can crank out 1200 eventually, This is going to be a nothing burger to power the, to feed these things with copper. It's nothing. So that's pretty good. So the mixture of copper into iron, and the same thing for mixture of copper, iron for iron. And now we've got this one, the mixture of iron and copper. It's pretty powerful. Now this one is interesting. It's 50 copper and iron to get the copper alloy. So they throw you off a little bit there. This will be next. This one here is the space for it. Really tight up against that rock. I don't really like it that close, but that's okay. And then I'm pretty sure this is all I'm going to need for getting through the milestones. And I can, obviously we build up, right? So for every part, there's going to be a belt. And maybe multiple belts for one part. So that's how that's going to run. Now let's go over here. And I think I covered everything for the iron now. And presented the copper. So now, so this is the next phase. It gets confusing. Okay, so this is how I do it. All right, we already have the smart plating done. The space elevator, remember I let it run because I'm like, well, it's already connected. Why not just, keep it going, right? So I have one less thing to do, which is good. So we need the versatile framework now, which is the modular frames and steel beams. Now over here, we have the automated wiring. That's a stator and cable, 20 cable there. So I start with this and I work my way back. And from what I'm doing is I'm going to try to support at least 2 constructors to feed the space elevator. And it's just one of these things, you build your factory, you put your space elevator down, you feed it, you build the project up there, and then you just pull it apart. You pull these machines out, and then you start building the next stuff, because we're going to get more complex parts later on, computers, supercomputers, things like that. There's also rigger motors, turbo motors, and the like. Now, for every one of these things, I write down what I need, and then, like, for example, we need 2.5 modular frames a minute to power this one machine. Well, on this machine here, it kicks out 5. Well, I'm not going to downclock to 2.5 and just do one machine. I'm going to do 2 of these, so that means I've got to double my inputs here. So now I got to write these numbers down. How many screws do I need? How many of this? Reinforced plate and all that. Now we have this one here. Rotor. Do I need the rotor? I don't think I need the rotor. No, I don't. Yeah, so I can remove this one. I was wondering why I had that rotor one. And that's because I thought I needed the smart plating. I pulled the smart plating machine up and then I forgot this rotor one was here. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, why do I have that here? Ah, that's why. Okay, so let's go over here. So here's the stator. This is the quick wire stator. And we're going to be using the copper ingots. That means I got to get deuterium ingots over here as well. And then we can do the quick wire with copper and a little bit of deuterium both ways. I think it's, let's see, I've got this one. Oh, yeah, here. So this is the quick wire, deuterium ingot 1, 5 copper. And this is the wire, 4 copper ingots and 1 deuterium. And we get 90 a minute on that one. This one is 90 as well. So really nice recipe to get early on. And you don't need much deuterium, which is good. So we'll be tapping that deuterium patch there, bringing it over. Probably, I might bring I'll do the ingots here in the factory. That way I can easily upgrade it here. Because when we get the faster belts, that means, and faster miners, I can upgrade all that and get more output from the miners and henceforth more deuterium wire down the belt. So that's the stator there. We need quick wire. Oh, and then there's the steel pipe. Alternate molded steel pipe. We need concrete and steel ingots for that. And then that will cap off the stator here. So I'm going to go through the numbers. I'll explain it when I start to build. Right now I'm just trying to give you all an idea of what's involved in the next phase, which is these 2 machines in the space elevator. Over on this side here, we got the reinforced iron plate. Now we have a new recipe. It's 18 plate, 90 a minute, 50 screws. We're going to be using the steel screw recipe. Here it is. I downclocked this one. It's 250 here. So we're going to do, you don't want to belt screws. you want to direct feed them. So bring the steel in, make the screw locally for the machines. And I'll showcase that when we get to that point. So notice how it's 250 here. And this constructor is taking the steel beam 5, but it's really 4.808 because I downclocked it to 250 right here. And this is reflecting on the output 250. So, yeah, I mean, it's just split, bring it in. It'll consume whatever it needs. So we're going to have a belt of steel ingots as well as a little bit of iron ingots because right over here, this is the iron plate alternate recipe. 1 iron ingot, 1 steel ingot for 45 iron plate a minute steel cast plate. So we need 2 of these because we need 90 for that 1 machine, which is here. Now it's 15 reinforced iron plate a minute. So if we go over here, we'll look at the numbers. Yeah, here. Oh, that's the beam one. Let's go over here. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Modular frame. Is that here? Yeah, here it is. So we need 7.5 right there. And we're going to have... Wait, is that right? Yeah, there's going to be... Oh, there's only 1 of these right here. 1. So it's possible I can kick down those other machines. But here's another issue that we have to consider. I need parts for me to build. So the iron plate and the steel beams and all this other junk has to be cased up in our little Dyson, or not Dyson Sphere. I'm thinking of Dyson Sphere program. We have to have those cases, these dimensional depots. Yeah, so we're going to have to set up these here off of our, main line. So everything is going to, all the finished products and intermediates and whatnot are going to be shoved over here onto a belt. But, we got to make the stuff internally as well here. So I'll figure all that out and I'll present that as I go. So now I think that's about it. There is one more little thing here. I need to bring raw quartz over. So I'm going to go over to that one I tapped over there. I got to bring that over. I'm thinking about a little truck, a little sugar cube, but I don't think there's any coal nearby. If there's coal by the quartz, I'll do a little sugar cube. Otherwise, I'm belting it over. And it's not too far. It's only 9 or 60 meters away. Now, the silica I need for... Here's the silica here. Yeah, so we need to make the silica here because I need the limestone. There's the silica. And then, let's see. Why do I have 2? Oh, did I forget? Here, oh, let's see. Silica, limestone. I think I can take this one out. I don't know why I got 2 down. Okay, I think I forgot I had this one here. So we got to make this silica, bring the quartz in, limestone's down below, and then the silica plus more limestone gives us a ton of concrete. Now, I downclocked this because we only need 50, but we're going to need more for other things. So I'm going to just do that, and then we're going to belt the concrete over there because we're going to need it for building foundations and everything else, power poles and whatnot. So these are the iron plates. Yeah. Oh, this is steel. All right, let's take a look at this really quick. So we have 2 iron ingots and 2 coal. So I have to bring the coal over, and that's a simple belt up. So that steel thing down there is going to get disbanded and repurpose the coal up here. So that's it in a nutshell, folks. There we go. Look at this thing, man. All right. Oh, another thing, too, about these is, notice how it's 86 there? The crafts are 75 ingots a pop, so it has to get down to a certain amount before it starts again. I think it's 25, and then it'll start up again. So it's going to freeze up until this goes down. So they're going to be running and stopping, And that's if we're not fully using the capacity here. Now, when it comes to the ingots, what's going to happen here is I have to have an iron ingot line specifically for the iron plate here, or on this side here. Yeah. So I have to pull some iron ingots off for this. The steel ingots are just going to be internal. So most likely what I'll do, I'm going to have to shove over here. You know what? Yeah, I should have built these out. I probably should have built these here. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull these belts here. This is just so I know what the output is. This little stub here. So what I'm going to do is take these ingots, and I'm going to go up against the wall here. And then they're going to go down the wall, and I'll have steel and all this other junk in the front end of this right here. Now I'm leaving room for splitters, mergers, and you know all that other stuff. You know the lifts and things too. So that's why I've got a lot of space here, because you know over there I learned my lesson. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna leave some room here. Let's leave lots of room so that I have room for the you know, routing of material. So everything that you're seeing here, the steel and all that, is going to be, the processing of it is going to be over here. So the coal belt is going to be coming up probably from the bottom, and I'll pop it right here. So once I get to that point, I'll showcase that. All right, I'm going to go and get this next part done, and we'll fire it up. Yeah, I want to get the steel ingots done, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think the steel, because everything is going to require steel, and except for the iron plate, which requires a little bit of iron. Okay, and then maybe I'll kick the iron ingots over on this side. Nah, I'll do it over here. Yeah, because I was thinking about, yeah, let's just put the iron ingots along the wall here. So I'm going to have 4 belts of iron. Yeah, 4. So these here I'll pull down, and I'll combine, I'll have 4 belts of iron over here going across, I think is how I'm going to have it. Yeah, so I'll keep these on the floor, and then we'll have steel right here. Yeah. And then whatever's up here, I'll bring down for additional steel and stuff. But having almost 1,000 ingots a minute is pretty crazy, because normally it would have been 270 times, I was going to do 270 times 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. So it was going to be over 1,000. And I can still, we've got 2 more iron patches I can pull from. And the copper patch, like I said, I'll have to split it 4 ways. Yeah, that's going to be nuts. So this one right here is going to be dedicated to iron. And this one here will be dedicated to the copper stuff. The copper ingots is kind of how I think it's going to happen. All right, so I'm going to get to work on the next phase here. I'll show you what I got. All right, folks, here we are at the bootstrap steel. This is going to come out eventually, but I got to wait, make sure I got everything hooked up, because I still need pipe and the beams mainly for the belts, the Mark III belts. So what I did, I have these upgraded now to Mark IIs for the coal. That's 120. I need 240 coal for the steel. I calculated everything out. Oh my god, it was a pain. I hope it's right. And the other key thing is I do want to, you know, allow for expansion, so when we get the higher end belts, then all this can be, you know, done right. Look at that. Woo! So I have a case here, and I've got all this coal that I could just toss it in my trash slot, but I figured, well, why do that? You know, fix it. We don't waste. All right, now I got the, oh, you know what? The little sugar cube, I had to tear that out, and because I'm shutting the coal down from here, but what I'm going to do is pull the sulfur over, and we'll do the gunpowder in the base now. So I'm going to pull all these little bootstraps out, you know, and mainly that was just to get the stuff so we can get out there and explore. So let's go on up here, and whoa, looky here. So this is something you can do. You go down with the lift, and then I connected the lift to a lift. You go down and you just do a U shape, you know. So this is like a U, and I think I went out. Oh, I went out that way. Yeah, to clear the wall here. I can pull the wall out, but you can look at it as a support, you know. So I'll probably leave it in. And then I went down into a merger, and then these are clocked. They're not overclocked. I just need 240 coal for now. So I can come down here and overclock them when we get the faster belt. So 240. And then this, like I said, this is all going to come out. And the sugar cube, this station is going to come out. Plus I'll leave the gunpowder alone for now. I might need it. I don't know. Because I want to go out and get the Mercer spheres, blah, tomorrow. In the next episode. I'm saying tomorrow, isn't it? Next episode should be next week. Now, I don't understand why they're doing this, why it's clipping. Why is it yellow? It's not clipping against anything. So we've hit the max on the belt there. So we just terminate that. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of run down like this. And then I see, oh, it's right there. Okay. And I'm on center of the tile. It's easier to do it that way. And then just click, click. All right, I'll meet you down there. Oh, I almost made it. All right, so when you click on this part, it automatically connects there. And I have the belt here already because I needed to make sure that it was where it was, if it was centered. I'm going to pull all this up here, this stuff. This is just so I can walk here. Once you get the little, you get these things where it's the hover pack, and as long as you have power around, it'll hover around. So these power lines, when they're active, will power up. I hope I have the belt the right way. Yeah, there it is. Good. Oh, I didn't want to have to redo it. So there we go. I calculated, it's going to be a little under this, but I'm just going to go all the way. I'm not underclocking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steel smelters. Or, well, foundries. And these are the 16 megawatters. Wow, look at that. Holy crap. This is the power of the, you know, the alternate here, where we're getting 60 per minute out. Now, let's check out the, I can't remember what the other one is. This is the regular one, 45. So we're getting 15 ingots extra. And it's pretty much, I think it's close to the same recipe here. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, I forgot, yeah, down here, over there, there's little things to tell you what to do, but it's so far out of my vision. You know, I don't look to that corner. I'm usually looking straight ahead, you know, and my peripherals, I don't see. Like this thing up here, it's kind of in my way, but this down here is just so muted, you know, I just didn't see it. So yeah, it says B for light down there and M for map and all that crap. But I don't, that had, when I first started playing, that was not there. So I'm not used to looking over there. All right, we got the steel ingots. There we go. All right, let me show you what I did over here. Wow, look at this thing cranking along, huh? The coal should be, it should be getting down here. Well, it's got to buffer up. Yeah, it's going to take a little while. But it needs exactly 240 for this whole thing. Or, well, you know what? I think it's a little bit over 240 because this one should be downclocked to, I need 5.33 coal or steel ingot machines. So this one's going to be running a little too fast, but that's okay because I could overclock these. But the plan is to expand this so we get more steel production. Now, here is what I have. And boy, let me tell you, you want to talk about expansion? We have it. So one of these, this belt down here is probably, I'm going to go down there on the floor. I don't like to go on the floor, but I'm going to leave it like it is because then I can't drive the factory cart around. But I like to run around anyway. So the factory cart's just kind of, oh, well, I got to go a long way and it's straight. So I'll hop in it. Otherwise, I'll just run it because if I'm going in between machines and stuff here. So, yeah, so this one here, that's a 225 belt, and then we have a 270 and another 225 belt of iron ingots. So I popped through here. It's barely clipping. I think it said it was yellow, but I don't care. But the thing is, I wanted to match to these. So it is pretty much right on the money here, which is pretty cool. But it does complain it's clipping because it is touching this particular piece here. But I like that they remove the clipping, you know, like you can go through stuff. It doesn't go red and you can't build at all because of this particular situation here, you know, where it does line, you know, these are flat. So how the hell am I supposed to do this anyway? You know, make these smaller, you know, the graphic for this so it doesn't clip, I guess. I don't know. All right, well, there's steel ingots, folks. No more bootstrapping allowed. Now, what I got to do, I think, I don't want this episode to run too long. So what I'm going to do is I'll set up some things here. The next thing I want to do is this one here. So I got to move some stuff around up over there because I'm smushed in now. But I want to terminate one of the iron belts into the iron plate one here. Okay, and that'll be the first part, I'm thinking, that we'll have out here on our bus line. So these lines here, what I'm going to do is they're going to get pulled out, you know, over here. So to explain this really quick, these are just centered on the block, on the concrete, right there. Yeah, it doesn't matter where they go. And then you just move over and you got a guideline. Oh my God. Man, I wish we had this stuff when I first started playing the game. But it was early access, so they didn't have all the features. So I have, this is what I call the egress here. And in between, you want room in between for the lifts to go up and over and around and stuff. So that's how this is going here. So yeah, copper is going to be done probably later on. Because, you know, that's another part. That's the stator part. Right now I'm working on trying to get the iron products out of here and be able to decommission the little base down there, the starter base down there. So that's the plan. Okay, well, I'm going to end it here. I'll probably, let's see, most likely the iron will go right here. Oh, another thing too that I think that I've done in the past is I leave a tile in between segments of builds so that you have room to walk, and you know, it's just nicer, it's cleaner. I don't like to be too close. And then if you have something you need to bring in, like, oh, well, you know, I need the iron over here just to do something quick, you have room to pull, you know, things out. So it's always nice to have the extra room for, say, a mistake, or oops, I didn't calculate this correctly, now I got to bring in something else, you know, or boots, you know, maybe a bootstrap or something. So I try to leave a buffer space. That's what I did over here. At least I tried to. Yeah, see, this is, well, these are all the belt stuff. This is kind of tight, but it is what it is because of the, you know, the lifts back there. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going, what kind of strategy I want to go with those, you know. All right, I'm going to rip this all this crap out here. I don't think I'm going to be bringing anything else in. I might bring in another coal belt eventually for more steel. It depends on, you know, like, well, when we get the faster belts, we'll be able to support more smelters and henceforth more production. So, yeah, I might leave that in. But what I'll do, let's see, let me pull this out at least. And then I'm going to cap that. Oops, I got the zooping on. There we go. Yeah, I don't want to fall down in there. Not that it matters. But yeah, I'll leave that little, you know, thing down there, and I can double stack a pole, bring another coal belt in, and done. So that'll be fun. All right, cool. All right, I'll work on some little bits and bobs here, move some stuff around, and we'll do the iron plate and whatever else next episode. But this episode kind of sets the tone now for what we're going to be doing going forward. So yeah, Project Assembly Part 2 is coming up, and pretty confident. I got all the numbers figured out. It was a pain in the butt, but you know, it's just a matter of being diligent. You know, turn off all the noise and focus on what you need, you know, all the parts, and work from the end result to your back end and see if it matches up. You might have to do adjustments, but most likely you can increase the output. Oh, another thing I wanted to mention too, for these machines here, because they are the final output here, we're going to use summer sloops. It's going to, you know, have a lot more power, but we'll be able to double the output on our automatic wiring and also the other one, you know, the versatile framework. And I think I'm going to do these. We're going to have 2 of these machines, and we'll be outputting double what the machine can do. So it's 2.5. It's going to be 5, 10. So we're going to be doing 10 on this machine. And so, yeah, so the summer sloop's going to do that for us. So that'll be great. Oh, I love the summer sloops now. Hey, there's our little manatee. All right, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This is, like I said, the framework. Now we're going to be able to hit the ground running from here on in. But I got to get the copper in and all that and get the iron over there. So, a little bit of infrastructure work there. But once you get the ores in and the coal and everything else, then it's just move, forward quickly. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Peace out.